modify be that creative flow state. So the best that I can kind of get you to imagine what this is if you remember in Iron Man where Tony Stark is interacting with Jarvis, like we're not there yet, but this is kind of the extent to where we want to go with Modify. You can talk, you can interact, you can push the pixels around as a human with a brush, and it feels like sculpting an idea rather than like having to just type in a prompt. So that's kind of where we're going with Modify. Where are we today? I will skip over to a few demos. So Modify is not just an image generation platform, so we manipulate bitmaps and pixels. We also do vectors, but we also do animation as well. So I will talk a bit about the AI capabilities, but we also have what is a shader base. So web GPU, I won't go into the details of what that means, but it gives you the ability to do significant manipulations of pixels in the browser. This is real time. This is on the Wi-Fi right here. I can go in. Everything is fully non-destructive, so I can just change this to light. Everything is undo. So I'll show you a few more different shader-based tools in a minute, but just wanted to keep on going through those. We also have the generative AI piece of this. Like you can type in a spaceman wearing bunny ears sitting on the moon, and we generate the images in here. Like that's cool, but we believe that you need a lot more, and I've heard it today, a lot more control, precision, to be able to manipulate things. Like if you look at this picture, the ears aren't great. Like with Modify, you could actually put a spaceman, put ears on the top of it, regenerate over the top, so you have a lot more precision over what the output is. Here's me and my co-founder. My co-founder is not here today. You can just type in zombies into this. Like I was pretty precise about the actual input which I used, but you can see it's really, I'm sorry if you don't like zombies, really getting at the detail and passing through that control so you can work hand in hand. It's like composition AI or a collage style AI. It's in here, so you have, this is all in the browser. You can share it, you can collaborate it in real time, all your standard things. I just put Joe up here. I can change this to Yo because I'm not imaginative when I'm on stage. And kick off the generation. I'll just show these while that's working. And that's taking the underlying information and passing it through. Again, you have more control with the actual text, with the type that you can put in there. We have Google Fonts. We're actually launching probably in the next couple of weeks. You can upload your own font libraries, so you can keep on manipulating with the brand aesthetic that you want. So let's go back. Let's hide that. It's still generating. I will come back. This was an example from Calm. So working with companies, we want to get into the enterprise ecosystem. This was just working with Calm. All it was literally the prompt Calm. Another example, this was not Nighttime Mountain. It was a 3D render. But we also do the silhouette mode as well, which I don't know. If that one's going to show up. There you go. You kind of have to squint. But I'll go back to All this one was literally 3D render, and it came back with that. We want to get a lot more precise over the next 6 months about the colors that you can put in, keeping the brand identity, and keeping the logo intact so it doesn't manipulate it in any way. Just a few others which were generated out there. You can see how quickly you can iterate and go through different ideations, so you can experiment as fast as thought. I'll just go back to the inflatable text. I'm guessing I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi anymore. This was Calm as well. They did a collaboration with SoundCloud. So they did the SoundCloud logo in the background and inputted words. This one was just a text bubble. So if you want to follow him, it's Saint Laurent Del Rey. He's on Twitter. He's a big designer, previously at Snapchat. And he was using our tool and just playing around and came up with a little sofa, purely with the input, which was a blue couch with the underlying image as the bubble from the iPhone. And to make sure that we don't leave out our Android friends, he also did it in green. And then I wanted to go back to the shader piece. So this is just fun. I can change this to whatever I like. Again, I'm not creative. We've got all these different types of modifiers. So I will just add on a very simple one. So this is called shrink wrap. You can see very quickly I can start manipulating and changing aesthetics. This all render. If I like something, I can hover over any attribute and start giving it some animation. Move it up and down, a little bit of scale. But then I can go back to that shrink wrap. I can change this to, oops. Maybe I like the indent. So again, this very fast to be able to iterate and play around and keep you in that flow state and really be able to experiment with whatever you want. And then lastly, to combine all of those together, I started with just a font, added over a layer. You can't spell creativity without AI. That's a terrible pun. I apologize. Add on a shape. I heard one laugh over there. Thank you. Adding in the edge. Oops, went too far. I'm going to turn the edge off. And then with this, I then generated some different looks. So went through, created all these different styles. We have trained on top of Stable Diffusion XL, but then we create all these different styles, which are specifically for graphic designers and visual designers. So photography, art and design, 3D, we all keep on adding to this. And you can see just going through like the experiment that you can actually get within a matter of minutes. And then a few more different styles here. And then I copied all of these out and then put small little amounts of motion on there. And then you can just play through, and you get something pretty incredible within, like, to try and create this within a company's name who might be here today would take a significant amount of time. Like, this took me less than 20 minutes today to create all of that. Maybe you're not going to be using that in your brand aesthetic because it doesn't keep the colors and things, but as we keep on giving more precise control and collaboration with the AI, we're going to see a significant more amount of creativity and leveling up the professional designers so they can go faster and rather than just pulling everything down to being very, very generic content which is shared on social media. That's Modify. Thank you very much for listening. Please give it a try. We love feedback. Join us on Discord. We're building for the creative professionals, so we want to hear from you. We have many, many different features coming out. Multi-canvas is coming out pretty soon. We have a lot of actual animation-based real-time. One last thing to show you. Animation real-time diffusion. So this will be in Modify very shortly. So you can do side-by-side collaboration with the AI, again, keeping you in that flow state and doing very crazy things. You can watch the rest of that video on Twitter. Thank you very much.
What's next? What's next is in 10 minutes on the main stage, we'll have Coco Mao, one of my favorite presenters, presenting open art. So stick around, that's in 10 minutes. Canva's workshop is ongoing in workshop 3. At 4 o'clock, we'll have Adobe. 5 o'clock, we'll have Pika. So stay awake. And thank you for being here. After party tomorrow night, 8 o'clock after dinner. ProPass, you have a ticket to the after party, sponsored by AI Alliance. So please be here. Please enjoy. I'll talk to you in about 8 minutes. We'll hear from Coco right here.
white stripe, officer of love, and I'll obey her every word. She is an officer of love, and I'll obey her every word. Stand up on my shoulders and tell me, darling, what can you see? 10,000 holy rollers go into battle, cigarettes tucked up in their sleeves. Oh, oh, oh. She is an officer of love, and I'll obey her every word. We take our loving on the run quite seriously, hitting up a sleeve. Now stand up over my shoulders, the rollers go into battle, playing white tees. Ah, whew. Ah, ah. She is an officer of love, and I'll obey her every word. She is an officer of love, and I'll obey her every word. She is an officer.
Quick announcement. Q&A for Joe on Modify is occurring over here on stage right. Joe is at that high top table. So if you have any questions for him on our last presentation, just go see Joe. He's right over there. And we'll start with Coco in about 2 minutes.
I want you to know you set my life on fire. The brain shines gold. She said I like your style. Ooh, baby. Now you're making me alive. Ooh, baby. Times I've cried, I filled a jar or two. Now I drink that jar. Never I feel blue. Ooh, baby. How many days have flown by? Ooh, baby.
Hey, remember how I said there's an after party tomorrow? That's for all 3 days. So if you're here with a Pro Pass for Designer Day, if you're here for Marketer Day, if you're here for Developer Day tomorrow, it doesn't matter. The after party is tomorrow for all 3 days. So I just want to clarify that. And without further delay, let's get to a more exciting announcement. Coco Mao, CEO and co-founder of OpenArt AI, is presenting now. So please help me welcome Coco.
Hi everyone, my name is Coco. Thank you, Jackson, for saying I'm one of your favorite speakers. I bet you have many, but I'm still flattered. So today I'm going to give the talk about OpenArt. But instead of wooing you with more advanced AI features, I actually want to share some interesting, inspiring user stories. But I will start with my own story. So my name is Coco. I'm the CEO and co-founder of OpenArt. I started my career at Google. I worked at Google for seven years. Started as a software engineer and then became a product manager. But I know that I always wanted to do a startup. So in 2022, I finally was able to quit Google and then pursue my startup dream. And super happy to be here to share OpenArt with you. So we started OpenArt in 2022 August, just before all the AI explosion, like generative AI stuff exploded. And we saw so much potential and we want to do something about it. So these are the AI-generated images of myself, and you can easily train your own model on our platform, so you can generate these too. And this is my dog, Benny, Golden Doodle. And of course, it's AI-generated. So OpenArt is an AI image platform where you can elevate and realize your creative vision. You can generate images from photorealistic to anime to more artistic assets. But today, I'm going to show you 3 inspiring user stories because you probably have been seeing so many features today. And so the reason I picked these 3 users is that they range from professionals, professional artists, to very casual, fun users who play RPG games like Dungeons & Dragons. So let's start with artist Sarah. So Sarah is a professional artist. She is a real artist that she doesn't need to take commission. Instead, she draws something, people buy it. However, one of her problems is that to draw something, she actually needs to have a reference, an art reference. And before she uses OpenArt, she used to hire human models to pose for her, so that, often nude, to pose for her so that she can draw she can follow these art references to draw her own images. However, she's one of the artists that's actually open-minded enough to try out AI-generated images. So when I talked to her, she has been using our platform for months to generate these AI art images as her own art references. Note that this is not copying what AI does. In fact, she draws these references and then she generate images on our platform. But she will still draw them on her own canvas, digital or physical. But she really thinks these AI image generation give her a lot of inspiration, and she doesn't need to actually go to hire human models. Instead, she can use AI to generate hundreds of thousands of images and pick the best for her own reference. And let's just show you some examples she saw. This is probably the only not safe for work image you will see today on the conference, so you should take a photo of this. But later, she also realized that she could actually train her own model on our platform. And this is where I would want to quickly demo. It's really easy on our platform to train your own model. So if you come to OpenArt.ai, so you come here, train model, and you can see that you can choose style, character, face, object, and you simply need to drag images here. I won't really demo, but you can see I've trained many models in the past. Just as an example, this is a model I trained based on flat illustration, and so all of these are actually AI-generated images of flat illustration. So it's really inspiring for me to see professional artists like Sarah to use AI tools to help her to become 10 times more creative. And, oh, oops. I really wish more artists could be open-minded to to treat AI as a thinking partner and then really help them to be more creative and productive. So this is another example. I use this illustration, and then this is the end result. So definitely try it out later. And another user story I want to share with you is designer Kathy. However, she didn't use it for her actual design work. Instead, she was publishing a kid illustration book because she has kids that she wants to teach things, and then she really wants to publish a book. And at first, she tried to hire human illustrators. And of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use human illustrators. A lot of times you still should. But in her case, she really wants to publish a book at a relatively low cost and then relatively fast. So she started, when she started sourcing the illustrators to help her, it was a very frustrating process because it's just really hard to find the illustrator that can fit her style, and it would take weeks for them to produce. So instead, she found OpenArt. So these are the styles she's looking for. It's cute. This is the prompt it generated. It's needle felt, cute. Obviously, it's a lamb. So this is the style she was looking for. So after she realized that she could actually generate these images on our platform, she decided to actually create all the book illustration on our platform. And within a week, she actually created all the illustrations she needs for her book. And she was very happy with the with the results. And then she published her book on Amazon. And for Kathy, because not only our platform can generate images like this, we also have other tools can really assist you go further. Let me just give you an example. Let's say this is a creative variation where you already, Kathy already generated the lamp. Kathy already generated a lamp. But in this case, she really wants to see something more, like what else can I generate with this existing image I like? So we have this tool called Creative Variation, where you can give it image and can really create a variation of this image. Instead of generating, I'll give some examples. So this is this lamp, and then I can type the same prompt, and then instead of, I can say wearing glasses. So you can see it's almost the exact same lamp, but now she's wearing sunglasses. Or you can do something like this. Give it this image, and then tell it wear a scarf, and then it can generate a lamp with a scarf. So in this case, you are not only generating one image. With one image you can 10 times your productivity and creativity by generating a lot of images similar to that. And another really cool tool that Kathy was able to leverage is the sketch-to-image thing. So this thing allows you to simply upload a sketch. This sketch is really simple. Anyone can just draw it. And then you can describe exactly what you need. So let's see. Let me, okay, I will just use this prompt. You can see what a glimpse of what it can generate. But let's say, we'll be more specific, cute pink bear. And we can choose digital style. You can even choose the color here. So this is an example I generated based on a sketch, and then you can get an image. So really, it gives you more control instead of just using text prompt to image. Okay. Well, here, not bad. Yeah, as you can see, with all of the tools that are super accessible and very easy for Kathy, she was able to finish her whole book illustration within a week. Yeah, these are the example I showed you. And finally, and then we also have a lot of casual users who are not professionals, because one of the key differentiators of OpenArt is how accessible and how easy our tools are. So we're not only targeting professionals, but also targeting casual users who want to use AI images for their hobbies and for fun. And one of the group we've noticed when we interview users are those RPG game players. So this is like RPG player Rick. Before OpenArt, he has to search on Pinterest or Google Image to find some images that can represent her character in the game Dungeons and Dragons. If any of you have played it before, you know that you can invent your own character and then you need pictures for those characters. But now with generative AI, instead of searching generic images on the platform, you can simply create more customized and unique images. And because we've seen so much usage in the RPG player case, we actually introduced a specific feature called, We introduced a specific feature called RPG Portrait Generator for the RPG game players. So in this case, no more complicated prompting. You just type exactly what you want, and then you can type the frame. And we also have samples of things you can choose from. And you simply just type create. Yeah, so we've observed a lot of this really interesting user behavior and then turned them into easy to use applications. So we can see how I can show you some of the past generations I have. So with these tools, for the RPG players who play Dungeons and Dragons, it's really easy to just create the images that can represent the characters in their mind without knowing a lot of things about AI. Let's see. Yeah, I also want to point out a lot of the features on our platform are free. So if you want to try it out, we give 50 trial credits for the premium features, but we have features and models that you can use permanently free. So definitely check it out after the session. So to really summarize what I've told you through these user stories, I think the lessons is really treat AI as a thinking partner, embrace it instead of fear it. But I think all of you, since you come to this conference, you are already being very open-minded to all of these tools, and then leverage AI as your storytelling tools. And in the end, really just have fun creating, because I really think AI is not only just for professional use cases. You can have a lot of fun creating these images. So if you are interested, you can scan the QR code here. On the left is our site, and on the right is my LinkedIn. And you can also create these AI, very artistic QR code on our platform for free. Yeah. So that's all for today. Thank you.
My dearest, you hear me? This empty room aloud. We had long conversations. I miss him so now. Ooh, closer, much closer. You're where you belong. Where you lived and we love. Forever you live in.
Okay. If there's any questions for Coco on OpenArt, you can find Coco at her booth just over here. So Please follow up with any Q&A with Coco at the Open Art booth. We have the Adobe workshop starting in 5 minutes, and in about 10 minutes, we will hear from Daniel Ambrosi, AI artist, here on the main stage. See you in 10 minutes. Talk soon.
My mind explodes. My body starts to feel control. I lose a hold. This place, it starts to turn so cold. I'm trapped from within. I cannot hear anything. You're saying something. I can see that your mouth's moving. Your eyes are red. I can see you're not tattooed. What is this room? I can't take my eyes off you. Spaced out of the time. I'm falling behind. I'm spaced out of the time.
I've had too much. Can feel my body about to give up. What is this stuff? I think that we stuffed it up. Your eyes are red. I can't see you're knocked out too. What is this room? I can't take my eyes off you. Spaced out all the time. Falling behind. Spaced out all the time. Falling behind. Spaced out all the time. you can take the throne. Body flows like gold, beating hearts like clothes. Without you, time moves slow. Do you think that I could stay? 'Cause if I leave, then I complain. I know this feeling's not a crime. You said you feel it all the time. But if you have to go away again, I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. It's something in the way I feel your skin. I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. If you saw me every morning, would you feel less important? Is that too much of forcing? 'Cause I don't wanna be much. I love the way that we touch. Do you like all of my friends? I want your attention. Before you never mention that you got time instead. Is that too much for your brain? But if you have to go away again, I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. It's something in the way I feel your skin. I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. But if you have to go away again, I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. But if you have to go away again, I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. It's something in the way I feel your skin. I just don't see you enough. I wish I saw you enough. Down the night when the sky without light becomes one with the water reflecting. Window lights flashing purple and green, floating high up and wholly above me. I know it's the only way to breathe. Black night inside of a crowd of dead bees. I enter hypnosis. Circle the squares. I enter hypnosis. Circle the squares.
It's 4:05, and that means it's time for our next speaker. Really excited to introduce Daniel Ambrosi. Daniel is an AI fine artist, and we're really lucky to have Daniel here. He's been creating fine art with AI for over 8 years, so we're very lucky to have him, and his images are going to look incredible on these panels. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Here's Daniel Ambrosi.
Thank you, Jackson. Thanks, everyone, for coming. I've been developing an art project for the last 12 and a half years, the last 8 of which I've been using AI. And I'm going to attempt to take you through that journey in 20 minutes or less. So let's see how that goes. So I love luminous landscapes. I think a lot of people do. As an avid hiker, skier, traveler, I seek these special places out. And I've struggled for years to share with other people the experiences that I was having in these amazing places. This is part of being a social animal, is you want to share these powerful experiences with your species. And people have been trying to do that, as you can see, for a very, very long time. It turns out that to capture and convey adequately the power of special places requires coming up with images that are not just seen, but that make people feel and think. This is something even Peter Paul Rubens knew about landscape painting back in the early 1600s. It's not just a question of capturing and showing a visual. So when you look at the history of landscape painting, you find that there are some very strong clues as to how to get these feelings across and give people more of a fullness of that experience. The painters of the Hudson River School, which was founded by Thomas Cole, gave some clues as to how to do that. And part of what helped was that they did these paintings before cameras were really a thing. They painted the way they saw. This isn't even a very large painting. It's in the Chicago Art Institute. It's only about probably this big, but it's so immersive when you walk up to it. It feels like you can step right into it. Cole's protege, Frederick Church, was hugely successful at this, and he really got the power of presentation. This painting, The Heart of the Andes, is 10 feet wide, and when it debuted in 1859 as a single painting exhibition in New York City, 12,000 people over the course of 4 weeks paid admission just to see this one painting. So what I realized is if I'm going to have more success conveying the feeling that I was having in these landscape experiences, I would have to force my camera to see the world the way humans do, which is with a very wide field of view, both horizontally and vertically, with the ability to discern details in both dark and light areas, and of course with sharp eyes to be able to see high resolution everywhere you look. So about 12 and a half years ago in front of this canyon in Utah, which was a very challenging situation, you're pointed into the sun, the sky was blown out, the shadows were deep dark, you couldn't get far enough back to take in this scene with a single exposure. After years of experimentation, on the spot I came up with this XYZ photography idea, which turned out I was not the first to do this. Technically they're called multi-row high dynamic range panoramas, but you get this, which was 60 photos stitched and blended together to give, I think, a better representation of what I actually experienced. And I spent the next 4 years refining that technique. And along the way, there were a number of surprises that came up from there. Let's talk about presentation again. It turns out that when you present these things at large scale, and especially backlit, you can really move people in a way that makes them feel good. I ended up having some success getting my large computational photography-based panoramas in a number of healthcare environments, senior living. This is an adult day health center in Half Moon Bay where I live. So presentation really makes a difference, and this sort of approach can generally get people to feel the landscape. But what about landscapes that make you think? Well, it turns out that while I was experimenting and refining this photographic technique, there was this incredible revolution happening with AI. And then in the summer of 2015, how many of you people remember when Deep Dream came out? Excellent. Well, this software, which was really just a diagnostic hack that a Google engineer produced to kind of get a peek under the hood of what their image recognition AI was doing, when he started to output images, he saw that it could turn, ordinary images into basically psychedelic nightmares. And for a summer, if you might remember, a lot of people had fun. It was a novelty. They went around taking their photos and turning them into these crazy scenes. Some of these results, these are not mine, were quite intriguing, but it gave me the idea that perhaps with a subtler touch, I could combine the computational photography techniques that I was developing with my landscape photography and this AI sort of paintbrush in a way that would maybe introduce a cognitive element to my images, not unlike what the painters of the 1800s did, starting with the proto-impressionism of J.M.W. Turner, and later the full-on impressionism of folks like Seurat and Cezanne and Monet. They started to reach a new level of expressiveness that really made people think about what they were seeing. If anyone ever went to the early Monet exhibition at the Legion of Honor, one thing you might have noticed is that in his early Impressionism, these paintings looked like photos from a distance. When you got up close, they were anything but, and it left you wondering how it all comes together, which gets you thinking about human vision and what's real anyway. So I really wanted to pursue this, but Deep Dream was a toy. It was a diagnostic hack. It could not work on 500 megapixel images like I was creating. But fortunately, when you live and work for decades in or near Silicon Valley, you get to know some really smart people, one of whom I worked with before, Joseph Smar, who was a principal engineer at Google, agreed to superscale Deep Dream for my purposes. And he recruited one of his best buddies, who's a VP at NVIDIA, super smart guy. I couldn't have found a better duo to help me with this. But it took them 4 months to basically break through all the roadblocks to the point where we got liftoff. And when that happened, this is something I thought would happen. I wasn't totally sure, but it did. It enabled this, what I call museum experience. This detail of this lake in Colorado in Rocky Mountain National Park, that's not a photo. It looks like a photo from a distance. But sure enough, when you look up close, it's this crazy scene. And that's not unlike the experience that I just explained to you about with looking at the Monets at the Legion of Honor. So NVIDIA caught wind of what I was doing, and in April of 2016, they commissioned me to do 3 large light boxes for the GPU Technology Conference. Was anyone at that event and remember seeing these? It was really kind of fun to see the reactions of people wondering, what are those? Are those screens? These were 8 by 16-foot light boxes that I continue to make to this day as dye sublimation prints, backlit or frontlit in very small editions, or in the case of the big ones, one-of-ones. So that was April 2016, and since then, I've created a substantial body of work that I'm going to take you through chronologically, showing you just a highlight from each of the thematic collections that I've created. This is the eye candy portion of the presentation, and I hope you enjoy. Starting with my first collection, Dreamscapes, a collaboration of nature, man, and machine. This is a scene at the Point Montero Lighthouse near Half Moon Bay. It's a 36-shot panorama that up close looks like that. And one thing I want to point out, since many of you are probably from the Bay Area, that there are a number of these around that you can actually see in person. I encourage you to do so. This one is in the Oceano Hotel in the harbor at Half Moon Bay. So if you're ever down that way, over by Barb's Fish Trap and all that. Stop in at the hotel and you can see this in person. My next collection was called Dreamscapes 2, From Inner Space to Outer Space, where I experimented with using this technique on images from a variety of scales, from microscopic images that I got from a collaborator who was creating these incredible micro photographs of fossils and so on, all the way up to the Carina Nebula NASA picture that came out from the Hubble as part of their 17th anniversary. You know, the thing about this, we've been imagining creatures in the stars forever. That's why we have constellations. So I thought, why not? Let's go full literal on that and use the deepest layers of Deep Dream, which are very animalistic. And if that image was 8 feet high, this is just a 1 foot square to give you an idea of the detail that's in there. From there, a curator in Miami that I was working with at a gallery in Wynwood suggested that these 1 foot squares had really nice details, but she wanted to see them 40 inches or 4 feet in size. So I ended up doing a collection of upscale Dreamscape details, and this is one example of those. I've got a ton of these. And then an art historian, notable curator in New York City caught wind of what I was doing, and he looked at one of my big panoramas of Central Park, and he said, you know, he basically challenged me to come up with as many curated details as I could from this single, I think it was a 42-shot panorama of Central Park, this being one of them. So that was Mining Nightfall. Then I did a series on bridges, because I had a bunch of panoramas of images with bridges in them. This is the Bow Bridge in Central Park, and that's a detail of that scene. A version of this is in the Google office in Chelsea, New York City at 8th Avenue and 15th Street, as you see on the little subway there. This is in the subway lounge on the 4th floor. If anyone works at Google and ends up in the Chelsea office, you can see that, okay? Dreamscapes 4, a little ode to Impressionism. I did a series, kind of real flowy sorts of stuff like this ocean scene. A version of that was shown last year, this time at my first solo show, which was in Half Moon Bay, as a 4 by 8 foot frontlit print, of which was an edition of 3, and 2 editions are still around. Then I had this idea that I could actually dream in multiple passes at multiple scales in multiple different styles. This is an example of that. It's dreamed at a large scale that from a distance is very readable, but when you get up close, there's this fine brushwork even closer in. This was exhibited as an 8 by 16 foot light box at the launch event for Stanford's Institute for Human-Centered AI. I was the sole artist invited back in 2019. This was a great day. I got to meet all sorts of tech heroes. Demis Hassabis in the lower right is the founder of DeepMind. Ed Feigenbaum next to him, Turing Award winner Reid Hoffman, Marissa Mayer. It was a great day. This is another double dose Dreamscape that I did right around the same week, and that is currently in the Google office here in San Francisco on Spear Street on the 7th floor. For anyone who knows anyone who works at Google, you can see it there. There's a detail of that. Then I sort of played around with other art movements, like this is my ode to Cubism, a form of refracted dreaming, a series I called Infinite Dreams, Abstract Dreams, Dream Noir. This is my sort of homage to Frank Miller, the graphic novelist who did a lot of graphic novels in black and white and one color. Did a little series on that. then this is the start of a series I plan to do next, which explores not just how landscapes are experienced, but actually how landscapes are remembered. This piece is called Fragmented Memories of Grasmere, and it's got multiple dreaming styles in this mosaic version. It's actually 3 panoramas shot from the same hillside at different elevations, and the randomization of the tiles is actually from a random number generator that's weather-based, which is kind of appropriate. As practice for my most recent collection, a very nice gallery in London came after me and said, hey, we love what you're doing. You should photograph the English landscape gardens that were designed by Capability Brown and his contemporaries back in the 1700s. We can't commission you to do that because we don't know how it's going to turn out, but if you pull it off, we'll give you a solo show in our Mayfair gallery. So in April, I went out to England to shoot, but before then, at Filoli Estate here in the Bay Area, I used Filoli as a way to practice and created this piece to run by them, kind of get a sense of what they were interested in. And this happens to be now a piece that's in the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, not to be confused with the Tech Museum in San Jose. So if you're ever down in Mountain View, the Computer History Museum, you can see this as part of their permanent collection. Which brings us to the most recent, so it worked out. I actually, in April, I went and shot up around Oxford, England. It was the most stressful month of my life. I was there for a month. The weather was terrible. I only had 8 days to capture 10 properties and create 12 artworks. But when I showed them the results, this is the centerpiece. It's a 16-foot wide scene of Blenheim Palace, which is the birthplace of Winston Churchill, and some details. And this is a 6x6-foot frontlit print of Sheffield Park, which is one of my favorite pieces. If you look in the lower left, you see those people there. It's amazing to me how the AI doesn't want to lose detail because it's image recognition based. But it's got these very discernible people in this fantasy environment. It surprises and delights me, which is why I feel like it's a collaboration. So when I had these results, I went ahead and worked with a 3D graphics expert to simulate their gallery. The images that I'm going to show you here on the left were simulated by my friend in 3D in May this last year. And on the right are iPhone photos that I shot in October at the opening. So when they saw these simulations, they were like, yep, project approved in its totality, let's do this thing. So in October, we had the opening. It was definitely the high point of this journey so far. They're now my exclusive gallery, except for my pre-existing NFTs on various curated digital art platforms. But I'm working very closely with these guys now. They're an unbelievable gallery. And these are some scenes from the opening. That's it. Thank you.
Hey, if you'd like to follow up with Daniel Ambrosi with any questions, Daniel will be just over there at that high top table, so go pay him a visit and follow up. We'll announce our next speaker in about 3 minutes. We'll hear from Peja. So Daniel over there, and 5 o'clock. Our Pico workshop starts in about at 5 o'clock, 4 minutes. So see you soon.
Well, you'll never see me dying on screen or microscope. I'll be the first to laugh it off, to not be the butt of your joke. Let me make a mistake, it'll pay for its own cost. 'Cause regret is like an infant that won't let you sleep it off. Checking into a hospital where the nurses earth and sky, fighting against my flesh and blood. There's nothing I won't try. Even heartache looks so easy to a pair of grieving eyes. I'm always one man down. I'm always one man down and dressed up. I had an antenna, a feeding tube, and a hard drive. Entertaining myself to death to maintain some sort of life. Staring up at a concrete roof, thinking it could fall any minute. The fall line can't be reasoned with, no matter what the house has in it. Checking into a hospital where the nurses church and state. The cure's got that oxygen we're all looking to taste. With the bass lines and the mall swings, I want more time to waste. I'm always one man down. I'm always one man down and dressed up. If my mind's an orphanage, you're not in the market to mine. Living like this is just no way to die. Put it in terms I can understand.
Guess what? It's time for our next speaker, Peja Ding, product designer at Wombo AI. Please help me welcome Peja.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the session, From Creation to Consumption, AI's Role in Future Entertainment. I'm Peja, and I'm the lead product designer at Wombo. We're an AI startup based out of Toronto, Canada, and I'm super excited to be here with you all today to chat about how we've built consumer AI apps with over 200 million downloads. I'll be sharing some stories about how Wombo began, where you might have seen us in consumer spaces, how you might use our app Dream and our insights for the future at Wombo. Like many designers, I spend a lot of time looking at aesthetic things. For example, mid-century modern furniture, photography, or exploring cool side projects. In order to fulfill all of these interests, I spend a lot of time consuming information online. Sometimes I was looking at design stuff, sometimes not design stuff. Like memes, for example. Memes tend to have a funny effect of capturing the essence of emotions and evoking a reaction from people. It can be thought of as a form of modern communication that is universal beyond language and cultural barriers. Oftentimes, you probably get a good laugh or a sense of relatability out of looking at memes, especially when the algorithm hits at the right time. So being in the times of what might be considered Gen Z, of course, I had to be chronically online, looking at TikTok and Twitter for work research purposes and also memes. And this is how I came across Wombo's deepfake back in the spring of 2021. You might have seen these floating around on Twitter or TikTok a while ago, and this was Wombo's first viral app. We allowed anyone to upload a selfie, add a song, and used computer vision to create a fun little video, similar to a meme. People were sharing and creating memories with Wombo, which led to our organic growth of over 50 million downloads in its first 4 months alone. This was a strong signal that ordinary people are interested and excited to try innovative AI products, which were previously largely inaccessible, invisible, or just a little boring for the average consumer. With Wombo, we discovered that people wanted to create their own meme-like content, but add a layer of fun with AI and personalized to their own imagination. Holding that signal true to our team's values, we launched Dream, a mobile-first text-to-AI artwork app in the fall of 2021, right before generative AI took hold of the world. So here's a little preview of Dream, which has hit #1 in the App Store, as well as winning Google 2022 App of the Year award. Dream predates Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, and DALL-E by over 6 months, and is one of the most widely used image generation products in the market. We knew that we wanted to capture people's innate drive to create and consume, and what better way than the age-old tradition of art and design. From the beginning of hand-painted cave murals to the classics of Picasso, and now with generative AI, we had a feeling that people would want to express their imagination with Dream. Previously, traditional art may have been bound by specific skills, training, or the notion of having an eye for design, which were a barrier for many hobbyists. Like Wombo and memes, we wanted to capture an easy and delightful way for people to transform their ideas into tangible outcomes. In fact, one of our breakthrough moments was when we introduced input images to Dream, which gave rise to the TikTok trend in an abstract prompt, such as beautiful sunset, and then creating their special hidden wallpaper. The likelihood of this trend starting if people had to create it from scratch or use a difficult tool would probably be quite low. And if you think about it, you realize how easy it has become to enter a lower effort input like a text or image, but in exchange, you get a higher effort output such as beautiful artwork or a video. Plus, it's fun to see what AI ends up making sometimes because it could be really weird and strange, and that's funny as well. So how can you use or create your own silly moments with Dream? Today, I will highlight some of the features of our product to create artwork and outputs through text prompting, live canvas, and avatars. For example, you might get a new idea and want to quickly brainstorm on the go, or maybe you've been out all day and now you're ready to relax in bed. In both of these real use cases, people go to Dream for its convenience and purpose. If anyone wants to follow along and create your own artwork using Dream, you can scan the QR code on the screen or search up Dream in the app or Play Store. To start, I like to emphasize that we provide a mobile-first experience with Dream. Social content and casual content creation is dominated by mobile platforms, as it allows for quick consumption and experimentation of different outputs. People are drawn to our AI artwork tool because it's designed for that pace and flexibility. Okay, let's go over what you'll see when you first open Dream. We know that complementary to creating, people also want to explore what other people are doing. I won't spend too much time on this, but we do have a home feed that becomes personalized to you based on what you create, browse, and who you interact with. To offer more specific search results, we've also introduced Explore, which allows you to search for keywords based on text, image content, and profiles. To complete the social aspect of our app, we have a notifications page as well as a profile page where all of your created and liked artwork goes. I think these two pages are pretty self-explanatory, so I'll skip them for now. Okay, let's create something. You can enter the creation flow by pressing the Center Plus button. At the top, you'll have access to preset artwork sizes optimized for sharing on mobile platforms. For now, we'll stick with the default portrait size, which is good for TikTok and Instagram stories. This affects the proportion and actual output of the image, depending on what you select. Now, onto the hard part, which is prompting. I tend to have a hard time with prompting simply because I don't know what I want to create, or I don't want to write out the keywords because I'm kind of lazy. So this is why we created prompt history, prompt suggestions, and magic wand to help you at this stage. We want you to prompt easier and faster, especially if you're just getting into generative AI art. So as you can see here, when I enter a beautiful sunset over Santorini and press the magic wand button, it transformed my simple prompt into one with more descriptive visual details. Comparing the simple prompt with the enhanced prompt, you can see that the output for the enhanced prompt is a lot more vibrant and beautiful. After selecting the artwork sizes and filling in your prompt, you can browse through different styles, which are trained with different AI models. It then generates 4 outputs, which you'll have access to if you're premium. If not, you get 1 generation. We also allow users to regenerate, which will create another output with the same prompt and style. Create variations allows you to use the selected image as a base image and create similar outputs depending on that. So once I'm finally happy with the artwork, I can save, share, and publish it to my profile. Another feature that we recently launched is Live Canvas. Live Canvas allows you to create artwork with the stroke of a paintbrush. Sometimes it's difficult to describe exactly what you want to create, or you don't want to spend a lot of time prompt engineering, so we decided to add this feature for those who are more visual or already have an idea in mind. What's more exciting is that your artwork is generated in real time, so you can see what you're doing at each step instead of restarting the creation session. So for example, in this demo, I want to create a bunny. Instead of describing the bunny in detail with text, I can draw the shape I want with the pen tool. The more detailed your input, the more specific your output. So what you enter for a prompt also matters. I described a cute and fluffy bunny, which would look different than if I put a strange and scary one. And this is a really new addition to our app, so keep experimenting to see what you might use it for. For the last highlight of Dream, I'm going to talk briefly about avatars. We're experimenting with avatars, which allows you to take a selfie or image and transform it with a text prompt. Our avatar tool is unique in that it only requires 1 selfie to almost instantly train the output. Other tools on the market require at least a few images and a much longer training time to produce a decent output. But we've optimized it that you can create anything with anyone almost instantly. So in this example, I've trained a photo of myself, added in the prompt dancing cat, and put my face into the body of a dancing cat. And these are some of the main features of Dream today, but we have so many more ideas in line for Dream and Wombo. It's clear that AI won't be stopping at just generating artwork and outputs, but has already spanned across multimodal forms of content, such as video, audio, and more. In 2024, we have plans to explore these ideas and push out more features and apps. So where does Wombo think the next phase of consumer AI is headed? The first point I'd like to highlight is that short shelf life of AI products. And what I want to say is there's a huge opportunity in making short shelf life but viral AI products. Due to the novelty and unpredictableness of AI, people are hungry for what they can create, but they're not sure of what's possible yet. This allows an opportunity for viral trends, workflows, and endless combinations of creation. Generally, you don't need to spend much advertising costs for these products to go viral, especially if it gets picked up amongst friends and communities. However, at the same time, because trends can fade quickly, this means that the product may not continue once it has served its purpose. It's important to kind of consider this factor when designing for social AI products and find the right balance between when to continue adding to a product and understanding the natural end of its shelf life. The second point is hyper-personalized content. AI is already good at personalizing content for user engagement. Now, what if it was possible to create content tailored on your specific personal tastes? Based on your past interactions with this new system, it could go beyond just adjusting content for you, but also propose new experiences that align with your changing taste. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat are using machine learning to help structure their feeds with recommendations, but the next step forward is now generating this content natively with AI and further enhancing the consumption experience for you. Lastly, AI is leading to the emergence of new entertainment genres and formats. We're not exactly sure what this might look like in a few years, but like TikTok, Snapchat, they're not the final frontier in media products. What has happened with text and images in the last 2 years in terms of its creative evolution and potential is going to change the landscape for every type of media format. We can think about AI in entertainment as not only tailoring content, but helping to augment and create a more joyful and interactive connection between people. Finally, I want to close by extending an invitation to each of you to join us in Wombo's mission. We're not only developing a product, but we're shaping the next platform for consumer AI. Thank you for being a part of this conversation today, and I look forward to a future where artificial intelligence doesn't just exist in our lives, but enriches it. Thank you.
Hey everyone. So if you want to follow up with Peja, please go see Peja at that high top table just over here. Any questions for Peja, please go see her over there. And the Adobe workshop's actually going on right now. I think I misread the clock earlier. At 5 o'clock, the Pika workshop will begin in workshop 3. And in about 10 minutes, we will hear from Joe Reisinger from Facet. So stay tuned for that. Facet is a local company here in SF doing some amazing things. So we'll introduce Joe in about 10 minutes. So stand by, and Pika at 5 o'clock in workshop room 3. See you soon. And Peja over here for Q&A.
I don't need you.
here, I sat down in Texas next to a person wearing this T-shirt. I'm assuming this sort of knows really what this is. That's okay. I did. This very specific meme. If you're exactly as online as I was, exactly as old as I was, at this point in time, you could form a human connection via something strategically bizarre. I've been friends with this person for 20 years now. Just want to meditate on that as like the power of content tissue. So I'm Joe. I'm the CEO of Facet. I'm actually not going to Facet. More philosophical and high concepts than that. So you'll have seen this slide, if not today, multiple today. You've probably seen it at some point in your careers. Everything you can imagine is real. I used to use this in talks early in my career because it's very inspirational. Pablo Picasso, et cetera, et cetera. Nowadays, I use this slide more in a cautionary tone because literally everything you can imagine is now real. We've seen incredible technology today that a couple of keystrokes can create images, create video, create experiences out of effectively nothing. And you're really limited by your ability to, what you want to make. So what I actually want to talk about today is the how question. How do we design for a world that is increasingly, post-scarcity in terms of visual content? There's more images, there are more photographs being taken than ever before. The imagery is actually looking to photography, just a total content. There's so much out there, you can't possibly look at it or experience all of it. People, they get inundated with amazing content all the time. Designers and marketers think about that. How do we actually